Hello, my name is Johnette Whittington. I'm from Team 1, and my presentation is over They Say, I Say, chapters 4 and 7. I am also the summarizer of my team. Going to my first slide, why are we worried about academic writing? Academic writings are important because it provides an opportunity to improve. It also shows accuracy, meaning that the writing provides statistics, density, which just gives the writing substance, and correctness, meaning informal writing is avoided altogether, which just leads to my next slide. Philosopher Kenneth Burke identifies academic writing with analogies. He offers this analogy, for example, imagine arriving late at a party and the people who are already there are having a passionate discussion. They can't catch you up, but you listen. Once you gather what the discussion is about, you then put your input into the conversation. This conversation goes on throughout the party and even goes on after it. Burke is saying that this relates back to our lives. This is what happens when entering the academia. People can contribute to these arguments and conversations where people have already started them. People must find ways to say something to move that conversation along. We basically live in a post 9/11 world where we have to engage carefully, thoughtfully, and respectfully with those who think differently. Okay, this is my first audience question, which is, what are other reasons that make academic writing important? How has academic writing helped your essays so far? Right, my next slide, people don't argue just to argue. Basically people don't argue just to argue, meaning that real world arguments come from being provoked. For an argument to be strong, the provocation must be established, must give what they say. Once the provocation is established, the wider group must be identified for the audience to link with or recognize themselves with. Right? Sometimes it could take time to identifying the wider group properly, but if it's a commonly known argument or belief, it doesn't necessarily need to be identified. Also, be careful of the straw man fallacy. Straw man fallacy means an opponent's argument is overstated or misrepresented in order to be more easily, let me say that again, in order to be more easy to attack or go against. After establishing the they say, then the I say must be established. This is basically how it starts the conversation and goes back to responding the provocations. Okay, so there are 3 ways to respond to the they say, which is disagree and explain why, agree with difference, or some combination, which is agree and disagree simultaneously. Simultaneously. Oh gosh, it's so hard for me to say that word. Okay, next slide. So disagree and explain why. Okay. Writers need to do more than simply assert that they are disagreeing with a particular view. Writers also have to offer persuasive reasons why they disagree. The writers can even disagree by making what is called the duh move. This means that they don't disagree with only the position itself, but with the assumption that it's a new revelation or a stunning revelation. They can also make what is called the twisted move, which the writer agrees with the evidence that someone else has presented, but show through a twist of logic that this evidence supports the writer's evidence. And these are some disagree templates that could be used when disagreeing in a writing. So X is mistaken because they overlook, and then it will be finished in the writing, however you want to put after that. And then the next one would be by focusing on and then inserting the information. X overlooks the deeper problem of and then inserting the information. Okay, moving on to agree with difference. As the writer agrees, it's important that they bring something new and fresh into their writing. It's important for the writer to open some difference and contrast between their positions. So here are some more templates that can be used when doing the agree with difference. So you have the X is surely right about, and then insert information because as they may not be aware, recent studies have shown that, and then you'll insert an information. And then the next one is X's theory of certain information is extremely useful because it sheds light on the difficult problem of, and then you insert the information of what the problem of is. Now moving on to agree and disagree simultaneously. It helps the writer get beyond the kind of is to, is not exchanges that often characterize the disputes of young children going back and forth. And then here are some more templates for the agree, disagree simultaneously. So it will be, though I concede that, and then information, I still insist that. Or, oop, did I say concede or coincide? Oops, made a mistake there, but basically that would be the first template. And then the second one would be while X is probably wrong when they claim that you insert the information, they are right that, and then you'll insert that information. And then this will be my second audience question, which is how will you apply these 3 ways to respond to your mediated essay? Okay, so what, who cares? The so what and who cares questions usually occur when the writer doesn't consider that their audience may not know the information that's being given, or they also assume that their audience already knows that the information that he's giving or that she's giving is like they just already know it. They just know the information already. But the writer lacks addressing the crucial question of why their arguments matter. Who cares? The who cares wants to identify an interested person or group. With the who cares questions answered, it will make the audience want to resolve and invest into the writer's writing. And these are some who cares templates that can be used to insert that. This interpretation challenges the work of those critics who have long assumed that, and then insert the information there. Recent studies like these shed new light on certain information, which previous studies had not addressed. So those templates will answer the who cares for writing. So now to the so what. The so what links your argument to some larger matter that the audience deems important. And these are some templates that can help with the so what question. So ultimately, what is at stake here is, and then you'll explain what the stake would be in your writing. And the next one would be, if we are right about, then major consequences follow for, and then you insert the information there as well. So this will help answer the so what template so that the audience will know what your point of your writing is. The audience already knows. Even if the writer does believe that the audience already knows this information, it's still good that it's still a good idea to answer the so what and the who cares questions. The writer should still answer those questions because if not, then the audience may not find the text to be interesting. Plus, it's just not good to assume. it's good to just answer all the questions so that everyone in the audience is on the same page. All right, and these are my credits. This is the PDF that was in the in the what we're supposed to do in the YouTube video. I couldn't find the words. And yeah, that's it.